Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with a very crude, life-size, full-size picture of the Fanstoys FT-40A. Now the thing is that I'm going to do some comparisons in this video, and we're going to see, but if you can look at this picture right here, I'm going to throw a picture up to do a comparison, you can see a few things. First of all, you're going to see that my picture is actually about 12% small. I just went off 45 inches according to the picture versus the hoodlum. That's all we have to go from. So this is going to be a little bit of fun. So just bear in mind the real one, the official one, is going to be even bigger than this guy. And Marty, it's crude. I didn't have time to paint it. Yeah, let's let Doc Brown sell that one.
Please excuse the crudity of this model. I didn't have time to build it to scale or to paint it. Oh, thank you, thank you.
First thing I want to show you is based on this, you can see how big he is compared to a 12-inch Starscream, which, you know, that's huge. And then we got 12-inch Ironhide over here, so that dude is big. And here he is compared next to the Zhujiang Jet Commander. And the Zhujiang Jet Commander is the KO oversized, kind of an 18-inch, about the same height as the Devastator from the Titan Returns line. And let's go ahead and throw Zeta's combiner in the mix. So now what we can see here is the size difference between the Zeta and the Zhujiang Jet Commander. And of course, this whole big monstrosity, this Fanstoys FT-40. Now, trying to put in an Omega in there. So now you can kind of get in perspective how big it is if you look at the DX9 Omega Supreme. And if you look and you see the DX9 Omega Supreme is roughly the same size as the Fanstoys, and I actually can't remember which one's bigger by a half or a quarter of an inch, but one of them's a little taller, and then one of them, I know the Fanstoys, the back wings go way up higher. But yeah, that is going to be huge. It's going to be massive. And I'm starting to look at places I'm going to put it. That's part of why I got this. And it's the same thing I do with my barge. I'm just going to put this around places and say, hey, will this fit here? Will this fit there? Now, there's a couple of problems with that, though, is if you can look, the Omega is barely able to stand on there with his size of his feet. So I would have to build out support or something so that those feet can be supported if I decide to display him here, because this is probably where I'm going to display him, and it looks pretty good. It looks like a great spot for him, but I would probably have to build out an extra like foot supports so that he doesn't, well, fall over. So next, let's say we take MP10 and get a good angle here where it's not all blinding, and we transform him, I don't know, into a head. So looking at this, the head is about the same size as MP10. Like I can see this transforming into a head. You know, we'll plug that in. There we go. I could see that. I could see an MP10 sized figure, or roughly the size of MP10, transforming into this head right here. I can see that work. So, yeah. Next, I do want to point out, this is the head from the Titans class, Hasbro Titan class 4 Max. So, here he is, and you can see how much bigger that head is than this. And granted, remember, my picture is about 12% too small. It'd be even a little bit bigger than that. And then look at the difference in aesthetic. So, if you're looking at the difference in aesthetic, you can see the look of the one on the Fanstoys looks so much better. And this is a good head. This is a good head right here. But the one on the Fanstoys, that sculpt is just so much better. And I know the paint is going to be so much better than this one. And I still like this figure. I like this head. Well, this is the main part of the figure. And throwing one more character in the mix before we go to a whole different room and compare completely different figures and completely different size classes there. We have Fanstoys Jetfire, Skyfire. And that Phoenix there looks so tiny compared to this. So imagine like how big your Phoenix is on your shelf and how extremely small he looks compared to FT-40. Now this whole project was something that's kind of the same thing as I did with the HasLab cell barge. Now as you can see down here, I made a HasLab cell barge picture pretty close to scale. Like it was really close to scale. And so I did the same thing with this. When I get this in, 2023 or whatever, I'm gonna see how close I got this picture to scale. It's just something fun that I like to do. Prototypes, just pictures of prototypes, and that way I can do comparisons and figure out where I'm gonna put it. But see, that's how I kind of decided I'm gonna put my cell barge here, and I'm gonna show you kind of the size of him next to the cell barge. But I got this whole display put together for the cell barge. I'm gonna get his display spot ready to go, so when he comes in, I don't have to worry about that and all of that good stuff. But he's probably gonna come in piece by piece. But anyway, it's kind of fun to think about. And if I can get it in there just right, I want to show you how close I got size-wise. Let's take that back a bit. What do y'all think? Did I get it close? So here he is compared to the cell barge. So if you guys have a cell barge, you can kind of go, okay, that's about how wide he'll be. A lot of things is we can see a number and see height, but we can't really see all the other dimensions. At least this gives you one more dimension. Here he is compared to some of the biggest Voltrons made. Now the very biggest Voltron made is probably that Shogun Warrior one, which is 2 foot tall. The one on the right here is the Matty Collector. That was the Mattel, kind of like HasLab. And then the one on the left that's the 90s version of the Jumbo one, made by Trendmasters. That's what it was. So yeah, big boys next to this big boy, and of course this is going to tower over him. And so yeah. Now this is the shot that I think most people will appreciate the most, because, well, I don't have Fort Max. Sold the body to him. I just wanted the head anyway. But anyway, with this one, this guy is almost 2 foot tall, or right at 2 foot tall, and was, for the longest time, the biggest Transformer. Now Unicron's gonna beat him, and then of course this is gonna beat Unicron and all that stuff. So we've been in that battle. But this thing absolutely dwarfs the Metroplex. This Metroplex is still a big figure. It's a big bot, and I think bigger than anything that we had downstairs. So yeah, this thing is going to be huge. Just check that out. For the 6 Star Wars fans that watch the channel, this is they call it the BMF, the Legacy, or the Vintage Collection, AT-AT. And let's just see how it looks there. Yeah, towers over that thing too. It looks like a little boy is walking his dog. And this is supposed to be a life-size R2-D2 cutout, but I've seen life-size replicas, and this is not life-size. But if you do have the standard R2-D2 cutout, the cardboard cutout, then this is that guy. This is the size of that guy, and man, it's big. And here he is compared to the 9 Death Star project. Yeah, the lighting up here is not good at this angle. But anyway, I'm thinking about maybe revisiting this Death Star project and showing the build on it again now that I have more capabilities. But what would you like to see this FT-40A compared to? What size comparison would you like to see that I missed that's really relevant, important? Like, subscribe, and Tydirium Hanger out.